Welcome back to Maggie's Cottage. It was a little over a year ago that we put out our first video showing you how we had restored the outside of Maggie's cottage and some of the inside. On this video, we'd like to show you a little more in-depth and updated of how we've restored the inside of the cottage. You can see that these are some old pictures of before we restored the outside, and if you remember from our first video, it was in pretty bad shape. But after a lot of hard work, this is how it looks now. We really love the cottage and we love the outside. We still have more work to do on the outside. I want to do a big garden spot. This is where our she shed is now. Check out that video about our she shed. And now I want to show you what the cottage looks like today. Here's the outside. We've done a lot of work on the outside. I updated the porch, did some board and batten, painted the ceiling of the porch. You can see that the cottage has two front doors, and this little door on the left is actually to the cellar, which we still need to do some work on. This door is one that we don't use and leads into the parlor. But this is the main door that we use with the stained glass, and we painted that red to give just a bright little pop of color, and I love the way that it turned out. And I love the stained glass on this door. So I'm going to show you on the inside, but before we get to the updated version, I want to remind you of what it looked like originally. This was the living room originally. It was in pretty bad shape. There were layers and layers of wallpaper. The ceiling was kind of hanging down. The floor was in kind of bad shape. Husband had lots of work on pulling out that wallpaper. So now let's show you what it looks like today. We were able to save the original floors. We sanded them. They're beautiful oak. Sanded them and went over them with some polyurethane, and they look beautiful. You can see the furniture we've added. That fireplace that we made out of an old armoire, we have a video about that. The board and batten was just recently added. We brought out the dining room table that had been in the kitchen and decided to use this for the dining room, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. I love the way this board and batten turned out. I painted the chairs blue. We put in some bamboo shades. You can see the walls are a beautiful color. It's called Cool Sky, and I just love this blue. Added some rugs, some other decor, and there's the stained glass door from the inside. I just love that. So the light fixtures that we have in this room, the parlor, and the kitchen are all stained glass. I wanted to carry that on throughout some of the other rooms, and luckily I found some fixtures at Lowe's on clearance. I was able to get those. You see my old hutch there with my grandma's china in it. You can get a little peek into the parlor on the left and a little peek into the kitchen on the right. We love this room. It's nice and cozy, and because it didn't have a fireplace, we made this faux fireplace and added an electric Dimplex fireplace insert to it, and now we have a little fireplace in the living room, which we love. It's a nice, cozy, bright room. I love the blue. The tall ceilings in this house are amazing, and it had the original baseboards and casings around the doors and the windows, which are just so beautiful. So now we go into the kitchen. It was in rough shape. There was nothing in there. There were no appliances, no cabinets, nothing. The walls were in bad shape. You can see the lath. This is part of the kitchen that did have this built-in cabinet, which was amazing. And the ceiling was pretty bad. We needed to add some sheetrock to that. And it has some water damage we needed to take care of and clean up. So here's a little peek into the kitchen from the living room. You can see my little tin awning and little shelves that I've added, a little bench, and the wainscot on the wall was also still there. That is the original wainscot, and it is beautiful, tongue and groove wainscot. So we brought up this store counter. It was from an antique store, but it was originally from Joplin, Missouri, to give us a lot of storage space and more counter space in this kitchen. We had to add everything to it. The flooring we tried to save, but it was in really bad shape. It had been burned, and there were patches and pieces missing, so we did have to go over that with some laminate floor. I tried to get it as close to the color of the original as I could. We put in some cabinets. We did butcher block countertops. Our backsplash is some board that is tongue and groove like the original wainscot. We have a farmhouse sink, a little curtain in front of it. There's the built-in cabinet, isn't that beautiful? So had the walls repaired, got the walls repaired, had some help with that from a handyman, painted everything up. This blue like we did in the living room. This cabinet to the right I got at Goodwill and painted that to match the kitchen. So I just have some cabinets that we brought in to make it look more like a farmhouse kitchen, because originally, you know, that's probably what it had in there. We know it had an old stove in there originally also. This is a really nice kitchen. I really enjoy it. And you'll see that little door over there, that screen door, that is our barn door going into the laundry room, and I'll show you that in a minute. There's a little cabinet on the wall that my husband and son built to put up there. So the things that we still need to do in this room are pretty easy. Just going to add a stainless steel refrigerator and dishwasher eventually also. But I love this little kitchen. It's so bright, and we love to spend time in there. Lots of storage too with these little cabinets. That really helps because old homes don't have a lot of storage. And here's my little cabinet again, my countertop. Painted these little stools so that they would match the walls and look better in there. They were just a black before that I didn't really care for. You can see my stained glass light that I got at clearance on Lowe's. So now it's time for the parlor. The parlor is off the living room, and this is how it looked originally. Of course, it had an ugly ceiling. They had dropped the ceiling and put some fluorescent lights in it. There was a hole in the floor we had to take care of. That was kind of scary. We have a video on this if you'd like to watch that also. We have videos on all these things. You can go and watch some of our other videos. But here's going into the parlor. So there was no flooring in this other than just some old wood that wasn't usable for a floor. So we had to add floor. We added some laminate floor, which I love. It's vintage looking. They had these closets in there we decided to keep because in an old home you can always use some storage. So we added some doors to those. Painted this room a beautiful warm yellow, which I love. That shelf on the wall we made out of an old antique bed, and on the left there that brown cabinet is a Murphy bed, so we can use this for a room if needed. This is just nice little cozy sitting room. We love to spend time in here just watching TV. It's nice and warm in this room in the winter. You can see that door. That was the door from the porch leading in, which this room is small. So for now, we're just putting the couch in front of it. Things may change down the road. We're always changing things up. That picture on the wall is a picture of the cottage that one of the previous owners gave us of what it looked like many years ago. So this is just a nice little room. We believe that this was probably the original room. It's very thick walls, and that's what makes it so warm and cozy in the winter. And there was some type of a chimney in the ceiling that we could see when it was getting repaired. So this was probably their original room, and then they've added on over the years. And it's a nice little spot up above the closet to put some heirlooms from family. Check out our video on the renovation of this. You'll see our surprise when we find that hole in the floor. So the next room is this big bedroom that's off of the parlor. And it was in bad shape, as you can tell. And if you look up on there, that on the ceiling, that is plaster molding. It is not wood molding, it is plaster molding. And it is quite amazing, but it was pretty damaged from the water damage as the roof sat off for a few years. And so that needed to be repaired. So here it is after we finished it. It had wood floor in it that was already painted, so we just did a cream color over that, painted that and sealed that floor up, painted everything up. The handyman helped us to repair the walls and the ceiling, put an antique light in there, but we have not gotten around to doing the plaster molding yet. I have tried to find people that know how to do it, and I can't find anyone, so I'm going to have to attempt that. So that is waiting for now, but you can see there's a plaster medallion up on the ceiling that was in wonderful shape, which was amazing. So now we move into the master bedroom. As you can see, the ceiling and the walls also in this room were in really rough shape. So with the help of the handyman, he repaired them for us, and there was a closet already in here. And the flooring needed to be, it was not usable, so we had to add some flooring. So we did some laminate flooring in there, painted up everything, Added an antique light fixture, which I love. I love waking up in this room and looking up at the ceiling. You feel like you're looking up at the blue sky. And there's still a few things we need to do in that room. One of the things we did do was put in this little closet that was in this cubby, and that was some from IKEA. So here we go into the bathroom, which is right off the master bedroom, and you can see there was no ceiling. You can see the walls that they look like. They're adobe walls. This house, most of this house is adobe, and then it's been gone over with clapboard. It was in rough shape. It did have a bathtub, but it was interesting. The bathtub was raised up and the heating vent was underneath the bathtub, so you had to step up into it. And here's looking again from the kitchen into the laundry room, the bathroom, the master bedroom. So there are no halls in these old houses. You just go through rooms to get to the next room. And here's the bathroom. We had to do new flooring. It had no salvageable flooring in it. We took the bathtub out, added a shower, which is wonderful. We love this subway tile shower. Put some shiplap in the bathroom. There's still a few things we need to do in here. Add some more cabinets and things. Here is the laundry room, which was just as bad as the bathroom. You can see we did the same vinyl flooring in these two rooms, and I really love the way that it holds up. And here we go back from the laundry room into the kitchen, and you can see the screen barn door. And then from the kitchen we go into the mudroom. And you saw how it looked before. I don't have a lot of before pictures, just that one, but it was in bad shape. But I was so happy to have a mudroom. We have a video about the restoration of this room also, if you'd like to watch that. So we put down some vinyl flooring. This was cement flooring. Someone had added this mudroom along the way, and so it was cement, but we wanted something nicer, so we added this vinyl flooring, and it's really nice. It really has held up really well. You get a lot of snow and things of mud and stuff in this area, and so this holds up really well. We painted the walls. There's a little room off of this mudroom that I'll show you in just a minute. We added some furniture. Oh, I'm going to give you a little peek of this room real quick, and then there it is. I'll show you more of it in just a minute. But I love this little door that's on this room. It's like an original wood door with the old hardware. So we added some cabinets to this room so we'd have some storage, and it can also be an overflow for the pantry. This old cabinet we found at an antique store. It was red, so I painted it white to match the other cabinetry. And of course you have to have mud boots when you live in the country and you have a mud room. So this shelf was, as you can see, there's a transom window on it. So this was actually the pathway between the kitchen and the living room that had been taken out before we bought the house. So it was not, we were not able to put it back in, but I didn't want to get rid of it. Isn't that an amazing piece? So my husband made it into a shelf. We put it up in the mudroom, put some little mementos on that. You see on the right of the big cabinet, we added some kitchen cabinets that we got at a salvage place so my husband could put tools and things like that in and keep them neat. I added this old window up on top of the cabinet that was from my parents' home. I love to use things that have meaning, and like this door to the right with the oval window, that is my great-great-grandmother, Emmeline. That is her door that I got from my dad that had been in her home that was just in a small town really close to Maggie's cottage. I'll show you the outside in a minute. You can see I didn't do anything to the inside of it, just left it chippy. I love it. We used IKEA cubbies to make these little benches to give us some storage and a place to sit. And then we used beadboard, and I turned it sideways so it would mimic shiplap, and added that, and added some barnwood on the top, which we got for free. And this is the same barnwood we used in our she shed. Check out that video about my she shed too. I'm not showing it in this video, but I think you'll enjoy it. I love the she shed. Added some hooks so we could add coats and hats to it, and this really gives us quite a bit of storage. And you can see that door leads into the kitchen with the arched windows. I love that door, and it's got the original hardware. It's a brass handle on it. It's really beautiful. And then we have this door on this side of the mudroom that leads out into the backyard. And you can see the treehouse from there. So one thing we still want to do is to add some shiplap to the ceiling in the mudroom. And here's my grandma Emmeline's door on the outside. I painted it red to match the front door, and I love that door. It had so many beautiful features to it. I'm so grateful that I have it to use in Maggie's cottage. So now into this little room. Our children lovingly call this room the annex because it was annexed onto the house, I guess, through the mudroom. So this is what it looked like. Pretty scary. Holes in the roof, holes in the walls. You got a lot of weather and things through it. There was a lot of seeds from the trees and leaves and things in it. But we looked at that and we thought, I think we can do something with that. So we added some electricity to it. First of all, it didn't have any electricity. And then painted it. We added insulation and beadboard to all the walls and the ceiling. Added a window to it so some fresh air would come in. Used some of our antique furniture. That's my dad's old bed he had as a boy. Put a barnwood shelf up there to add some little decor. Added a little chandelier. Painted the original wood floor. Isn't that an amazing wood floor? I love it. And there it is. Cute little annex rooms, cute little bedroom. So I hope you enjoyed this video of Maggie's cottage. That gives you a little more in-depth look at the inside of the cottage and what it looked like and what we've done. We're always doing more things. In fact, this picture I added at the end is the living room now. I changed the furniture up a little bit and changed the rug. So I'm always changing things, but please check out our channel and follow along as we continue to restore the cottage. I still have a lot of things I need to do on the outside. And there's always something to do when you have a 145-year-old home. So please subscribe to our channel and follow along. We appreciate your support. Thank you.